famous, #1 desirable. I do what I want when I want and how I want it. Leave you with the one in the air, that's how I roll. I got change to throw, I don't care about no goal. Better, so much better, flipping incredible. Always on the show so they know that I still got it. And I never feel sorry, yeah, on top of the world. This is me, I'm so royal, and you all wanna be round.
All right. Welcome to the UNIQ XPRESSIONS Podcast. I am your host, Destinee Jae. I am coming to you tonight, and we want to talk to the men. We are talking to the men, the sons, the brothers. In today's society, we want to do just like the last two shows that we did, where we were talking to the women about different topics and how they feel about things. Now we are talking to the men, and I can't wait to hear some of these answers. I can't wait. As you know, I am going to play devil's advocate. I have my paperwork here. I have a lot of questions, and this will be a 2-session series. So we will have 2 shows with the men, just like we did with the women. And then afterwards, we'll come back and see what everybody learned, and if things are gonna change. So we have my handsome men here. We also are going to do a segment at the end of the show, almost towards the end, where we're gonna have some of the ladies, if they feel like it. We're going to have some of the ladies that are here. I don't think you can see them right now, but we will have them ask questions they always wanted to ask. I'm going to ask quite a few questions, and I may take some of their questions and credit them, and hopefully you guys can answer. Now, let me ask you, we're not doing any man code tonight, right?
No man code. No man code.
Okay, because I always ask that. Y'all always give me that look.
Right. If y'all don't want no man code, you better strap in.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So ladies watching on YouTube or wherever you're watching, hold on to your seats, because I'm going in. We're going to talk about everything: sex, politics, love, how men feel in today's society. And speaking of how men feel in today's society, really, and I'm going to be honest, I feel like the women are everything because I'm a woman, our queens, are everything. I know you guys couldn't get too much of where you are without us, but I also feel like you men are like the backbone of our society, and you guys go through so much. So much pressure on you guys, and I really feel like that. I wanted to start off just asking like a general question, and I hope you guys can answer this for me. How does it feel? Because everyone in here is a minority. I just wanted to ask, how does it feel being a man in today's society, and a Black man at that? What are some of the pressures you guys face? What's the feeling? Because women will never know it, but we want to know how you feel.
Okay. First of all, as a man, you have no excuses, because nobody owes you understanding.
Right.
As a man. Well, first of all, as an adult, nobody owes you understanding. You have your situation and whatnot, and especially as a man, you're expected to buck up. If you got a situation, you got a problem, at least start to deal with it. That is the responsibility. Men cannot get away from responsibility because we're labeled as a punk real quick if we're not.
Wow.
Women get away with not dealing with responsibility.
I understand. I definitely understand it. Mm-hmm.
Black men, first of all, being Black or being African American is being African without culture and American without the privilege.
Wow. I understand. I get it. I definitely get it. Wow.
Mm-hmm. And as black men, we are the only race of men on the planet where the women actually say, feel, uh, do say, and think and do that they feel they can do without us.
That's very true. That's
No
very
other
true.
race on the planet does the women feel that they can do without their men, except for us.
And let me ask you, why do you think that is? Do you think it's the government that does that? Do you think it's the way women are raised today?
No, that's because women have made that choice to take Uncle Sam as their man instead of us. And that started with the welfare system back in the
Right.
60s and the 70s.
I've heard that a lot.
When especially in the 70s, and this is displayed and remarked about in that movie with James Earl Jones and Diane Carroll.
Claudine or something.
Claudine.
Right. I remember that. I saw that. Yeah.
She had to hide her boyfriend in the closet because if the social worker who made a surprise visit came by and saw him there, they were going to cut her off.
Right, assistance.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the actual policy that they were remarking about. Now for the Black woman. However, for the white woman out in the country, if she asked for help from the government, they didn't mandate that they throw her man out.
Right. I get it. Yeah. I definitely
So
understand. Yeah.
starting from then, Black women have got it in their heads and taught their daughters, you don't need no man, you can make it on your own, da 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 da. But when you look at our children, the children of our generation and forward being dysfunctional, and all the broken homes and broken people that have come along ever since that policy has been in place. It's wrought nothing but destruction. And the funny thing is that modern women want men to be traditional, but they're not traditional themselves. They want an unfair pact with men. But if we say we want a traditional woman to actually be the head of the household, to to have the skills and the temperament to run the home, it's like we're asking for pie in the sky. When we had that before, especially before the civil rights movement, we had that. But
Now,
yet modern women want that from us, but we can't expect a traditional woman from modern women. That's not fair.
Now let me ask you. I hear what you're saying. When you say that modern women, is it a certain race of modern women you're talking about precisely, or is it all modern women?
Well, I mean, I've been doing a little some loose research. I got to say loose research.
Okay.
And I have to say it's not complete. So my opinion may harden on it. It may shift a little. So I don't want to come off as somebody who's done all the research and talked to all the people and everything else, but this is these are the wins and the things that I'm seeing right now in my unofficial research as it is.
Okay.
First of all, Black women have been sold um, a a lie. First of all,
Okay.
um, you've been sold into the woman's movement, into a woman, into a woman's movement, into the equality movement, when that wasn't your fight to begin with. Okay.
Mm.
The equality movement, the women's movement, was between the white man and the white woman. That was their argument. But but Black women have allowed that argument, allowed themselves to co-opt their argument when we both were being discriminated against.
So let me ask you, and when you say that, are you talking about like feminism? Because I wanted to know what men
Yeah,
thought about
yeah,
feminism.
yeah.
That was one of my questions.
Because when did white women get the right to vote?
Definitely before us.
1921, 1922, with the suffrage movement. Black
Right.
women did not have the right to vote then.
Right.
So why did Black women all of a sudden jump onto their bandwagon when it wasn't about them in the first place? You know, Black women got the right to vote along with the Black men.
Right.
So they allowed an external force to divide us.
Okay.
And now we're at a place where many Black women, you know, feel like they don't need Black men, and some have resigned themselves. Oh well, I'm just going to do bad all by myself, and I'm just going to get a dog or a cat and die alone.
Now you sound like Kevin Samuels.
Part of it is from him. Now, now I would say one more thing. And I'm gonna let brother Marielle jump in here because he wants to jump in.
Okay.
I've because of Kevin Samuels has spoke on the book. I ordered the book. I haven't read it yet, but I did get it. But it's called Subverted. Hold on a second. Let me grab it for you.
Okay. Because I do want to know like what men feel about Kevin Samuels too. We're gonna talk about that too. Because me myself, I love Kevin Samuels, but a lot of women don't.
Yeah. Now the name of the book is called Subverted by Sue Ellen Browder. And the subtitle is How I Helped the Sexual Revolution to Hijack the Women's Movement.
Wow. I have to look into that.
Yeah.
Definitely gonna have to look into
by
that.
Sue Ellen Browder. Now, Sue Ellen Browder worked for Cosmopolitan.
Okay.
And what I got about the basic thrust of this book was that a lifestyle was invented so that Cosmopolitan can sell ad space for goods and services to support this lifestyle that they invented by women who did not want to have kids, who may have been married but did not want to have kids, wanted to throw their lives into whatever chosen profession. And they pushed this on young women in order to, like I said, sell this made-up lifestyle that has wrecked their lives, because they pushed going to profession, and distracted women from keeping their eye on the timing of their biological clock. And you hit the wall, what, up to 35, where you run into high risk pregnancy.
Yes.
Well, during your prime years, they're pushing that you don't concentrate on getting married, getting pregnant, and building a family.
And that's what Kevin is definitely pushing. He's definitely pushing.
And so they're pushing out off of your clock, selling you this Sex in the City lifestyle. And that's the basic thrust of the book. I don't want to go too much deeper. I want to let my man Mario get in here. Go ahead.
Yes. Thank you, Slim. Thank you, Slim. I learned a lot. And again, guys, I am here to listen, not rebuttal. I'm here to listen and understand. So you'll see me listening a lot. What I agree with, I'll say what I agree with, but I'm just here to listen and get your opinions and your thoughts. And I know it's going to help out a lot of women. So please tell me your opinions, your thoughts, and be honest like you've always been. And we're going to get to it, Mario.
He hit a whole lot of like really great points.
Yes, he did.
One thing I did, I was gonna even say, but he snatched it right out my mouth, was definitely the Women's Rights Act. That was definitely a fight that our women didn't need. We was already going through a lot of trauma as it is, so we was definitely easy targets. I mean, we came from already going through slavery or whatsoever, constantly being our families being threatened or whatsoever. So they was already trying to find ways of pulling the black man out the home or whatsoever. Anyway, so when we get to the 60s or 70s, I think what happened was our women were forced to evolve. And I mean, and I don't really want to say forced, because evolution it's always good. It's always good to when you level up on in life anyway. But I think with evolution, or with idea of evolution, the both genders to evolve together. Women were placed into what was kind of forced to evolve and it's two ways you're supposed to evolve: for survival methods or for adaptation. We in our women ends up being forced through survival. This is why you have in the 70s, 80s, you have the drug era, whatsoever. So they was doing a lot to push the black man, take him out of the black home or whatsoever. So they was doing a lot of things to us that I mean, we see the results with our generation, or with my generation, and the generation after.
Yeah. Not to mention, I just want to add in one more thing. Don't underestimate the role of the Vietnam War as well. Go ahead.
Correct. Which was a war that our people shouldn't even been fighting in the first place neither. But kind of the exact same thing, transpired from that. So right, like in these days of age right now, we are so out of tune with each other because of y'all evolution that and I don't want to say every man, but I'm seeing this with a lot of men nowadays, that we are definitely stuck in the past, where the women, when we think of providing and protecting, we thinking like the women can't protect themselves because we are constantly having to defend them from threats from the outside or whatsoever. So we have to defend them with the sword or whatsoever. Beginning that they got a whole 45 in their purse or something like that. Well, at the end of the day, pow or whatsoever. Or a lot of women know self-defense and martial arts or whatsoever now, and it's becoming real big. So what is protection now? Because they're still getting a sense of, we need protection, we need protection, providing. They like the Women's Rights Act or whatsoever, they put women into the workforce and allow them to get to a point where now women are making more money than men right now. Or in a lot of cases or whatsoever, where now we don't know what to do with this. Like, why do y'all need this? Or whatsoever. But
and I wanted to ask that too.
I think what our main lack is communication. We don't know where y'all are at. We're still in a sense of trying to be a man, in the sense of providing, protecting, but y'all are not telling us what y'all need to provide and protect. We're still thinking of, I don't know. I guess it's kind of hard. It's sad to say.
I like that. I like that.
But the one thing that I see is that Black women have misunderstood and or misconstrued what the word provide actually means. And it ain't about.
So what do you think provide means nowadays compared to back?
Direction, knowledge, wisdom, support.
Okay.
Doesn't have anything to do with money, because if it had to do
Mm,
with money, all those sisters that have these
mm.
advanced degrees and six-figure jobs would be able to provide for themselves. However, a lot of those women are unmarried,
Right.
unsatisfied because they're not married, and because they can't find a husband in order to have a family. And we have a ton of kids who are in our generations and successive generations who are dysfunctional because the father it was not in the home, either in our generation or the generation before. Because I don't know how many of y'all have seen it, Oprah's show about daddyless sons and daddyless daughters.
I saw it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a dysfunction that mainly starts with the father not being in the home, or him not being present in one shape or form while in the home, either because his hands were tied or he was dysfunctional to begin with.
Okay. And when you say hands are tied, because I wanted to go a little bit into that. Um, do you feel like the government uses the opposite sex
Uh-oh, I
against?
lost my audio for some reason.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well, men, it's a general question though.
Hold on, I
Uh,
lost my audio.
You did. You may have to go back out and come back in. I wanted to ask y'all, do y'all think that the government uses like women against you guys? Like they use, because I know there is
um,
a thing where they do break the family down. And I know about the whole welfare situation and
yeah.
the child support and stuff like that. But do you think
Dang.
that's strategically
And,
done to
and
break
so
the black family down?
I believe in some cases that there were incidents where the government was using y'all against us. I mean, they do bribe y'all. Like women are more quicker. Women with children are more quicker to get financial assistance from the government than
Right.
men are. So and I see it. I see I mean, they're able to provide like housing or whatsoever. So I'm
Right.
seeing it like the government is trying to uh was trying to take and not trying to be a conspiracy or thing, but it's coincidental.
Outcomes are
Like they trying
outcomes.
to
So go ahead, bro.
they tried to they tried to pull the man out, like after the women's rights act and stuff like that, and actually getting y'all to see, do we really need a man around or anything like that. They pulled the men out, but then they added the stuff where we will be in the positions that we will play, like providing. Yeah, they give y'all food assistance, governmental assistance, all that stuff like that, protecting. But a lot of states are states that protect women's rights instead of or more than with the male, like especially when it's dealing with the kids. Number one way to actually get to a man is through his kids or through his family or something like that. Like a man would sacrifice himself all day, but you mess with his kids, or like he'll lose his mind. Like
Mhm.
you can, that was seen all throughout slavery anyway. So I think when it comes to like child support, child custody or whatsoever, yeah, you can break a man down to where and I think with the government, I think their goal, a lot of the goal for us is to get us into the jail system.
Yeah,
They make money
and
off of us.
yeah,
Yes.
whether
So
Quite
whether
a lot of
whether
money.
it's in whether it's incarcerated or on or through child support, it's another
exactly.
form. It's another form of slavery. Because,
Hmm.
for
Right.
example, I have a very close friend of mine, right? He pays they really just rape him for child support,
Mhm.
but the state takes twice as much child support for his one son, and the state agency has already been ordered by a judge to fix his case, so he's only paying one time for his son rather than twice. The stimulus checks that that have gone through
Yes.
were mandated not for they were not supposed to touch his money for that he was due for the stimulus checks. They've taken all the money.
Wow.
And even they have not even relented when they were ordered by a judge to cease and desist.
Wow. Let me ask you a question, because I wanted to ask something. I know I just wanted to ask because I know you guys are talking about women and the women's movement and stuff like that. And it brought a question to my mind. Do any one of you gentlemen feel like some of the success that women have had coming from where they were to where they are now, like some of that should be celebrated? Because it's not always about, sometimes the opposite sex is like your mother, your sister, you know, like, is it always like a bad thing when you see like strong, confident women that can kind of do it on their own? Are we not happy for that? Or you know, is that not a good thing when it comes to men?
I mean, it's kind of like I said, like, you know, it forced y'all to evolve, but evolution is not bad. I mean, I think, you know, y'all, as far as women, like for the past like thousands of years came a long way within these 50 years. You know, like y'all are owning businesses, y'all are pretty much running, y'all are vice president of one of the most powerful countries in the world right now. Like, you know, like y'all came
but still it's the men that are
and I'm gonna ask you about that too.
that are providing her protection.
Right.
Whether in the military, the Secret Service, Capitol Police, it's largely men that are providing her that protection.
That's natural though.
But that's the way the world is, because men have built this world. Women use it.
You don't feel like women build the world either? Oh, this is a great conversation.
Hold on.
It's so hard for me to stay out my feelings.
Just like Kevin Samuels
Talk about it.
Okay, with Title IX, y'all have been given access to advanced degrees. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So y'all can get bachelor's, master's, PhDs, right? And y'all have had this for now 50 years because Title IX is part of the Civil Rights Act. So how is it 50 years later that there are so few women in the STEM fields, science, technology, engineering, and math, which are the fields that actually build any country and actually cause it to function? How is it 50 years later that y'all are not in a significant percentage of these fields?
I have to stay out my feelings. I'm not here to challenge you guys. I'm just here to listen.
I'll be 100.
But ladies, listen up. That's a question. I'm gonna need y'all to answer that later.
Because if y'all want to run the state, y'all got to engage in these fields. And there's a negligible amount of women, let alone Black women, in these fields. Go ahead, brother Mario. Go ahead.
I'll be 100. Keeping it real.
Right.
We it took a long time for us men, and I mean, I'm not even gonna say us. I'm not even gonna say Black men.
I'm just gonna say men, period,
just a matter. It took a long time for us to even trust women. And
we talk about that? Why is that?
If you hear about it, it's like in the music industry, in the movies industry or whatsoever, you hear so many cases of like women like, oh, I had to do this, I had to do this, I had to do this just to even get here. And it took me 15, 20 years to even get here. And I'm just like, why did it take that long? You know, whatsoever. And it's a lot. And again, I can't even say that it's us. I don't even think that it is our people, but I think it's the people that it took it just as much as we had to jump through hurdles because we were black, they had to jump through hurdles because not only they're black, but they're women, and they already not even really looking at their women like that. So they already. So it's. I think for them to get into the spots that they're in nowadays, it took a lot of us fighting for them. Because I can't say that we didn't fight for them or anything like that. But it also took a lot of them working extremely hard to get to where they at, which a lot of them probably would give up or end up going, I'd rather get my riches through a white man or another man outside the race or something like that. By some way, the woman is going to survive, whether it's them fighting hard or not. But, you know, I think it just took a lot of them fighting and a lot of them having to prove themselves is the reason why there's not a lot of them out right now that are making. But when they do, they excel extremely at it. Like when Oprah, first woman, the black woman to bust out in having her own TV sitcom. Not thinking that she was going to be here, but she's outshined every sitcom host, white, black, nowadays. Like when Hank Aaron, and Jackie Robinson, first black people to do, when we excel at something, we excel at something, but
yes, we do. We usually top percentile.
I gotta push back on that though.
Okay.
Either when you're talking about the white suffrage movement in 21-22, or the civil rights movement, the Voting Rights Act of 64-65. Was it women that gave women the right to vote on both times, or was it men that gave women the right to vote?
Well, they had to, right? Because they got their rights first, didn't they?
Huh?
But didn't the men get their rights to vote first, or wouldn't they have to do that?
Did women give women the right to vote both those times, or did men give women the right to vote?
It was the men.
It was the men. Yeah.
So how is it that men are so demonized, especially black men?
So you feel like black men are being demonized? In predominantly what area and in what context?
I see what he's saying. Go ahead. I see what he's saying. Go ahead.
We're the ones being shot out in the street most of the time. We're right now we're watching the trial for George Floyd.
Right.
And they're equivocating about whether what they saw in 8 minutes and 46 seconds is exactly what they saw.
Very true.
You saw a black man get snuffed out.
On
and
national
they're trying
TV.
to figure out if you saw what you saw.
Yes. Right.
What? I'm supposed to tell you not to believe what you saw in front of your face.
What if those roles were changed? What do you think would have happened?
I'm not overlooking or pushing aside what happened to Breonna Taylor. What happened to Sandra Bland? What happened to others like Eleanor Bumpurs, who was shot in her home?
Right.
Okay.
How do you feel about that? That's what I wanted to get into too. Like, how does that make you feel as a black man? Are you scared to go outside?
I've been scared to go outside for fear of my life.
Okay.
Like literally, that I had a target on my back.
That's every day.
Every day, yeah. And now, they're not even discriminating. It's women too.
But during the height of stop and frisk during, summer of 14, I really felt it then. There were several days I did not go out during that summer.
It was bad. Yes.
And I'm not far from the precinct. I'm less than a mile from the precinct.
I get it. I understand. I definitely understand. Now, let me ask you something, because that brings me up to this. and we were talking about it earlier. Why do men not like to talk about like their feelings? And that Nigel asked that question. Why do men not like to talk about their feelings, their money, like their emotions, like what we're just talking about here? Is that something like when you go home, you talk to your woman about? Why do y'all hold your feelings inside? Is it a fear, or it's not trusting?
Somebody else take that one. I've spoken enough for
yes. Robin,
Yeah.
Nigel, Marielle.
I will let one of the other men go first because of the fact that if I do, I want to go in.
Oh, go in. We love it.
Go
This
in.
is the UNIQ XPRESSIONS podcast. That's what we do. Yeah, go in.
Okay, let's put it like this. I've been in college for the past how many few months, and so I'm getting both of my classes, which is ethics and human relations.
Okay.
We kind of go ahead and go through fears and a lot of like psychological pressures that we as men would, but especially Black men, because of the fact that of course with what our brother Slim said, that we go through a whole lot as men that we're like demonized by my society. But we go through pressures from our families. The fact that if we grew up in a household with a father who's not really overbearing, but that doesn't show too much of himself as much, and then with a Black woman, either she's way to the left or way to the right, we don't know how to go ahead and gauge our feelings, and we don't come across as friendly. So
I get it.
So what I think is, it depends on how we grow up and how we go ahead and digest everything from everybody, from every angle. I mean, yes, yes, we learn from our parents, but we learn from our peers as well. We learn from our teachers on this side. We learn from, aunts, uncles, grandparents, family on this side. We get all kinds of energies, and we're the ones at the end of the day. We have to go ahead and accumulate and pick and choose what we want to be as we grow up. So, talking about about our feelings, we have to trust other people, that they don't go ahead and talk to anybody else about us, because if we show our real self, we're in trouble.
I agree with you to a point.
Yeah, to a point. I know.
But I gotta push back from another perspective. I do agree with you to a point, but I think this other perspective is the real germ of our problem.
Okay. You guys are doing great.
It's not that we don't how we develop or whatever is not the issue. What the issue is that our women do not know how to deal with us.
Okay. I was going to come into that too.
He summed that up earlier. That's what I was waiting for y'all to say. Now, why is that?
Because of the absence of the father in the home. You haven't, because your father is not in the home, you don't see how he deals with his wife, your mother. You don't witness how he deals with you as a daughter, which is your first non-sexual relationship with a man. Those two critical, if either of those two critical relationships are not healthy and balanced, then you do not know how to deal with a man that would be your boyfriend or potential spouse. You don't know how to deal with his feelings. You don't know how to see us. most of y'all, I will argue, do not know when you're looking at a good man because you don't know what that looks like, and you have a warped or distorted picture of what a good man is.
Mhm.
Now, let me ask you, whose fault is it that the men are absent from the home? Is it the women's fault or the men's fault for having kids and not being there? You know what I'm saying? Or like, whose fault is that? Because I know that comes up a lot and has been coming up a lot. Whose fault is that little girls are not seeing, what a man should be sometimes? Whose fault is that?
It's the
How many men use their children as a pawn against the mother?
So is that the reason? Because women use their child as a pawn? That's
You
it.
answered my question.
And I'm trying so not to be, because this is my thing. And it's some women in the room. And I can't wait to hear them talk. It's like Adrian, Mike, and she ready. I want to ask, so this is my, okay, thank you, Missy. Now this is my thing. Because I heard you say that the women are using the children as pawn and stuff. But if a man loves his child, would he let anything stop him from being away from his child? Because I don't have any kids, but I know me, maybe because I'm a woman or whatever, but if that's my blood, it's nothing you could do to stop me.
Amen.
You get what I'm saying? So whose fault is that? I'm trying to get y'all to say it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But who do we hold accountable for that?
What is he going to do if he's a phone call away from being thrown in jail?
So is it always like that? Is that the top reason why? I know the women are having a fit. I know, Missy. I know.
I say that this way. No man code.
When you're either looking at the news or you're in front of a courthouse, right? What is that classic statue? What's the sex of that classic statue holding the scales?
It's a woman, right?
Right.
A woman. It's a woman. Not a man. It's a woman, which tells you the partiality of the court in a dispute situation. It's against the man. And we all know that paternity fraud is a real thing.
Okay. Anybody have another? But I respect all point of views. I respect it. The women are going crazy. I respect it. I love it. What's another point of view? Is there any other point of views with this?
Let him go first.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of correct that. The statue of the woman. I mean, that woman. Her name is Libya. She was an ancient deity of goddess of wisdom and justice, so she has a balance. That's the only reason on why.
Actually, that's I got to push back. Actually, that's one of the four sisters. Her name is Justice.
Justice. I learned from it I learned from yeah.
That's one of the many things that I teach in the lodge. I'm a past Grand Master of the Masonic Order, so.
Oh, okay, that explains a lot too. That's whose fault is it though? Like whose fault is that the man is not there?
I don't think that is. I mean, I think it just depends on the people though. Like I mean, I've grown up where I had two uncles, one on my mom's side, one on my dad's side, that both went through the baby mama dramas, all kinds of stuff like that. Weren't allowed to see their kids. My uncle got hit with child support so hard that his baby mama was able to live off of his child support. So it's like that, but then he was only able to see his kids once every 2 weeks. They lived down the street, but they was only able to see them once every weekend and stuff like that. When we came to visit, I only saw my cousins twice every time we visited because their mom was that. So I understand the using the pun or whatsoever, which, I mean, me and my ex, it got me to a point to where me and my ex, I want to have the best relationship with her, like the best relationship, where to the point where, like because that scarred me. Like I don't want to be into a situation where like I'm fighting just to see my kids, because that's what he was doing. Where it lit like his kids now. My cousins are 25 and 23, and they can't stand their dad. Why? I don't know, because Uncle Doug used to buy them everything. I don't get it, but I just think that relationship, or that uh that there can be scenarios where the mother is kind of causing that, but it's still up to us to still do everything we can, no matter what it is. Because, like, I mean, yeah, even though he's down the street and he can't see his kids every, once a weekend or something like that, my baby mama lives already in Detroit. I do everything I can to go and see them. And well, they with me now, but they're going back up, this weekend. Their mom coming to get them. I'm doing everything I can to see them. I'm doing, or whatsoever. So it's up to the man on whether he's going to stay in their kids regardless.
But we were
okay.
We've always wanted to be in our kids' lives.
I know a lot of
Yeah, I know a lot of men that don't.
I have a friend
I'll say most. I'll back it up. I'll say most.
Okay.
But it wasn't until the government allowed them, or rather inserted themselves into our affairs and became another daddy
agree.
To take our money, and rather than have us not just provide the money directly to the mother and the child, and to mandate that we be present for our kids. I mean, it's only when it comes to us that the government has become the Black woman's husband and becomes a Black child's father.
I mean, and it's true. I mean, this is, and it's like,
okay.
I mean, it's like nowadays, it's like, why do y'all need us now? Like that's I think that's where a lot of men. Well, my question is like that with it. Why do y'all need us now? Because I mean, we've dug ourselves so deep into this hole to where, like, as he was saying, like they became your husbands, it became this and stuff like that too. Now we hear a lot of women saying, "Oh, we don't need y'all except for we'll come and take y'all money and all stuff like that." And we go about, hot girl summer, all kind of stuff. Like, it was like, dang. So now it's like a pushback with us, where it's like, well, we're gonna do whatever we want to too and stuff like that. We're gonna do this. We don't have respect for it and or whatsoever. So I don't know. I don't know where it started from. I don't know how it started. I don't know who started first. But this is where we're at today.
Yeah. But one thing about the pandemic, it sure ripped the wool off a bunch of them eyes, because
why you say that?
They gotta be home.
Yeah.
With the kids.
You might not want to be there.
And then and maybe they were fired or whatever, and the bills are piling up, and the absence of the father, the husband, is now stark, because they got all the weight and they can't escape it now.
I want to say one thing, and
Go ahead.
what it may come across crude or anything like that, but
it's what it is. Say what you guys say.
Yes.
Okay, here it is. I grew up without a father for the past how many years? My mom and my dad never got married. They were both immigrants in America, and they didn't get married, but I came into this world. A few years after, my brother came to this world. Now, I remember on my 9th or 10th birthday, I never see my father again for the next how many years. He didn't really explain why he didn't come back. It's because of the fact that I found out myself he was living a double life.
Right.
Double life.
We definitely gonna hit that too. We're gonna talk about
now,
that.
Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to speak bad about the man who brought me into this world, but what he did shows enough that he didn't have the responsibility to take care of one person that he cared about. That's the real thing. If you're not responsible enough to be with a woman, bring a child or two children into this world, make sure that they have enough to go ahead and sustain themselves. You are not a man. And I say this right now because of the fact that no. Let me get off my chest, because I've been sitting on it. I've been sitting on it for years now, and I haven't told anybody this because of the fact that I am not really to this point where I can go and share my thoughts and feelings. But with that part right there that I just said, I've shared with you all.
Right.
Jay, I know you forever.
Yes.
But for everybody else, I'm sharing this intimate thing with you now because of the fact that it's a place to go ahead and and explain it and be safe and not have to worry about anything else.
Yes.
But I feel as though is that my father didn't have the responsibility to do what he did, to come in, stay with us, go to work for 8, 10, 12 hours, and then come back home. He never came back home. He would be gone 3 days, then a week, then a month, 2 months. And then all the stuff that I grew up with and not having a father around, that's what made me think when I get older and when I have kids, I'm not going to go ahead and be like him.
Yes.
Because I don't want the same thing happening to my kids and what I'm going to go through in my generation. Now, granted, I went to a private school where all of us who have not have a father figure in their life. I had one after that. Showed me. He showed me things that my dad should have been there for, like simple things like how to shave, how to throw a football or baseball, or get in my face when I'm acting out.
Right.
And that's one of the few things that fathers do in life, to impart wisdom to their children so that they can teach their children what they went through and not have to go ahead and go through the same things.
Right.
I'm telling you right now, responsibility is the biggest key that men have to have in order to sustain a family, to teach their kids what to do and what not to do. Because if we're not there as dads, our children are failing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely,
our children are failing. So thankfully right now I'm not a dad, but I've wanted to be a dad for the longest time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm damn near 40. 40. I have nothing to show for right now. I've had how many relationships? Doesn't matter now. It's the fact that I'm willing enough to go ahead and be responsible for my own actions. If we're not responsible for our own actions, our society is going to fail. That's just one thing that men have to do in life. Take responsibility, share responsibility, learn everything, so that the dads after us, they had good teachers to fall back on, even when they're dead and gone. That's the main thing.
I agree.
Right, I'm on my soapbox.
And I appreciate you getting that candid with us. Like, that's what we want to hear. We want to know how the men are feeling. So that helped me out quite a lot. Robin, I know you want to say so. Thank you, Nigel.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Very, very. You got straight to the point, and I appreciate it. So do a lot of the people in the chat. I don't know if you guys are looking at the chat, but a lot of people in the chat appreciated that. It's definitely gonna help a lot of people. Definitely. Robin, you had anything to say, Robin?
Yeah. I got a little thought on why the men, why men leave now, or why their relationships don't stay together like they used to.
Yes.
I think it's all about people are more selfish now. For the women, it's more ways they can survive on their own, and they see that, and people want to be happy. So if you look at the old couples, like people that grew up in, I'm talking about getting married 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. You had a lot of couples that stayed together till they were 100 years old. Doesn't mean they were happy, but they did what they had to do. They needed each other to survive. They helped each other with their family. And they might even slept in separate rooms. They didn't even get along with each other. They might have fought, but they stayed together. Once it got to where we could be happy and go on our own and just be selfish and live for ourselves, people said, I don't need this person. I can get on by myself. I could go get someone else and be happy. So that's what I say happens.
Yes, very true though. Very, very true. Definitely. Now, let me ask you, since we are talking about relationships, because I did want to get to that. Regarding men, what is the criteria for a man to fall in love and stay in love?
Communication.
Communication, okay. Is that it, or?
I would say.
I thought y'all was gonna put that up.
I definitely
ladies out. What's the criteria? What do you guys need?
Definitely. There isn't really one. I think. Okay, so he said no guy code, right?
No guy code. No man code tonight.
Oh, I need to go. Bye. I always got guy code.
Y'all have to stop thinking that y'all definitely have to stop thinking that sex will get a man to fall in love with y'all.
So sex is not. Is it a part of the criteria, or
it's a part of it? Y'all have to come with it.
It's an unwritten rule in the criteria, but it doesn't have to be the main part about it. There's many things besides sex.
Okay.
Yeah, like we will quickly be like, okay, we got it, we mission accomplished. All right, bye. What keeps a man around is being able to connect to him emotionally and mentally.
Amen.
Okay.
Emotionally and mentally stimulate him. That will go a long way. Then, like after the fact, because men, we have sex with y'all. We have this mission accomplished type sex satisfaction, and it's like, okay, what's next? Either and if it's nothing else there that's holding us to y'all, whether it's like, okay, well, I need her for mental stimulation or motivation, or I need her for inspiration, or I need her because she emotionally connects or something like that, then it was like, okay, well, on to the next mission. It's like, because we are constantly thinking about reproducing naturally. So it's like, okay, if we finish over here, on to the next one. So I'm saying all to say that y'all, if y'all trying to keep us, stop thinking that we're going to that we just, as soon as y'all have sex, okay, now relationship. Because I don't know how many times that came up and it was like, okay, well, after we had sex, okay, so what now? What are we now? And stuff like that. It's like, what you mean, what are we now? Like, we cool. Like, all right, like.
Okay. And we say communication, because, like I said before, it's kind of hard to get you guys to talk about your feelings, your emotions, stuff like that. So, how would a woman get to have good communication with you, and you know what I'm saying? Like, how would she break that wall that sometimes men have how does that work?
Shut up.
Is that it?
Yo, I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to be the asshole.
I'll be the
Oh,
asshole.
so
I'm
just
fine.
be
I'm
quiet.
good. Yo, shut
A
up.
man will open up when he's ready to open up. That's
Yeah.
it. Period.
So it's nothing she can do, really.
There's nothing she can do. If
Well,
he's
only-
comfortable with opening up with you
Mhm.
and knowing that you're not gonna be critical of what he has to say,
Exactly.
he's gonna open up.
Yeah.
It's just it's something with guys, and they were taught not to show too much feelings, not to cry. That's how most men are brought up. But
Yeah.
it's stupid.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, I grew up around nothing but women, so it's different for me. I got to see a lot of their feelings, their emotions, so
Right.
I open up easily. But most men, they're not going to open up unless they really want to.
Yeah.
That's it. You can't force him to do anything he doesn't want to do.
Right.
Okay. Is there a time limit for that open up, or no? It's just whenever he feels like it.
When the criteria for that, and it's not about time, it's about quality. The criteria about that is how well you present yourself as a safe landing place for him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not that safe landing place, forget it.
Mm-hmm.
If you read the hint that you're going to tell your girlfriends, forget it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to throw it in his face, forget it.
Amen.
Listen.
I'm learning.
Oh, listen. I get because like y'all will be quick to say. And I'm not gonna say. Let me stop saying y'all because I don't want to include y'all means you all. But most women will be quick to say, "Oh, I just sat here and gave you my body and stuff like that," and we'd be like, "Okay, well, we gave y'all ours too. Like, this is pro quo."
I like
Well,
that.
and I'm gonna get right to that.
Oh,
The misunderstanding that women have about men is that you think that we value our bodies the same as yours, right?
Do you?
To you, your body is the most sacred thing to give.
Yeah.
To us, it's our emotions.
Oh, I get it. I like that. Ladies, I hope y'all listening.
So when y'all think just because we gave you our bodies that is our most sacred possession to give, and like it was said earlier, okay, now we're in a relationship. We're like, no, and it's because we give you our heart, and that is where the disconnect.
that's where we at. Yeah.
Wow.
When we start giving y'all our time, energy, all that stuff, that's when we start.
Give you our heart. That's when you have us. That's when we were talking about the father spending time with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we surrender money, or if you force us to surrender money, that's not what's going to keep us coming around and spending time with our children. It's when our hearts are engaged.
Exactly.
That's when we pull out all the stops to be with our kids. And that will only come when we are allowed to spend time with our children. That's when our hearts are engaged, because if we spend time with our kid, our heart is going to be engaged sooner or later. And from there, we will open our pockets.
But let me ask you, what is good quality time for men? Like, what would make
y'all just gotta
like
be in the air. Just be right there. Y'all ain't gotta be all up on us. Just be right there in the vicinity. Like if we can call out your name and you be like, "Hey, man, okay, can you bring us a beer?" Like if we just sitting there laying there, we watching TV and we watching our favorite show, we don't have to be having a conversation or anything like that. Y'all can be on your phone or anything like that. But we're here. We're feeling each other's vibe. We're
Just be
chilling.
around.
Just
Personally,
be
I feel
here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and yeah, too many of y'all seem to have this notion that submissiveness is slavery.
Well,
Hey, y'all have no
we're
idea
gonna have a
what y'all
show about that. Stay tuned, YouTube, because we are gonna have a show about that.
Look, no, that's a weapon. I can't even.
And I'm gonna need all you guys back for that one. We definitely gonna talk about that.
Oh, I'm not even
That's why I didn't even put it in this line of questioning. But we definitely are gonna talk about that, men and women. We definitely gonna get down to that.
Hold on, Slim, before you even release that information right there.
So
Don't release
save
that
it for the next podcast.
Don't release that information yet.
That one, Mario.
I'm gonna have a men's meeting for that one. Hold on.
Yes, that's gonna be a good show. YouTube world, that's gonna be a great show right there. Because submission is a problem with the word and just all the feelings behind it. It's amazing how people feel about that.
If I could backtrack for a second, something that Nigel said. As far as growing up without his father, my father was not in the picture, and after age about 9 or so, right?
Okay.
And I was born in the Bronx. My father is actually my stepfather, okay, not my birth father. What happened between her and my birth father, I don't know. I can't comment on the relationship that my mother had with my stepfather, whose name I have. But what I do know is that we moved out to the West Coast. We were out there for about 5 years. He had to come back to take care of his father, right? Whatever happened in that mix or whatever, my mother and father, the only father I knew, were separated, right? He was not there, couldn't get a hold of him. And I would have loved to have been able to hang out with him. What really eats me up is that my father was this close to being a pro baller.
Okay.
This close. Whether or not they picked him up, whatever happened with them, I was robbed. I was robbed. I would have loved to have, had been on the court with him, played ball, got some pointers, and all of that.
Okay.
So I've had to try and figure out manhood by myself. And I have a 29-year-old son that I have to try to do better by, but what I don't have to give him, I don't have to give him, in the way of manhood, and I mean, I don't have it to give, but it still bothers me that I don't have it to give, even though it is strictly out of my control. But that's the hand that I've been dealt, and I can't cry about it. I just have to deal with it as best I can. That comes along with manhood.
Okay. And does that affect the way you go about relationships?
I've been dealt. I just got to do the best I can.
Right.
And I can never cry about it. Want to, but I can never cry about it.
Now, do you think, because I've heard more than one man speak about the crying part, do you think that's your way to healing? Because I know they tell you to hold your emotions in and and you got to be rough and tough. Do you think that's maybe you guys a way of healing, like going through that emotion and trying to heal from that part? You think it will make you better men, or?
Let me say this. All that holding your emotion in, is only going to make you go crazier. You have to have like you have to have some sort of release.
Yeah.
You have to have some sort of release, because the fact that if you hold all that bitterness, all that other stuff that just isn't you, you know yourself well enough.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's a mental issue that all men go through, no matter what your age is. You have to have a release. I remember Jay, you see me at work at times.
Yes.
Back in the day when I had that face like I was ready to kill somebody.
Yes.
and some days it's dangerous. But when I started to go to the gym with my former boss, that was my release. And everything after that, I just felt like 100-pound weight that was on my shoulders come off.
Okay.
Because I found a way to go ahead and get all that anger out, get all the bitterness out, get all that stuff that's not me out. So no matter what, no matter how you do it, you can't just go ahead and play that facade like, oh, I'm a man, I can fight through all that. You have to have a release sometime, you know?
Right, I get it. I definitely get it. Wow, you guys are so deep. I didn't expect you meant to be so deep tonight. and I knew it was in you, but wow, we really left man code behind. I love this. Now I'm looking at the chat. It's a lot of questions
that we don't talk about.
Yes, it's a lot of questions and stuff in the chat. Like the women have questions too. I've been reading the chat and it's really explosive and I love it. I wanted to get in like more into relationships with you guys, but I know we've been in here for a while. I have quite a lot of questions about that, but we could save it for part 2. I want to give the ladies a chance to ask some questions. So guys, are you ready?
Let's get it.
I'm with it.
Let's
All
get
right,
it.
ladies, anything you want to ask, it doesn't have to pertain to what we were talking about. It could be anything because, wow, I got so much and I learned so much from the men. I wasn't expecting it to go like this, but I love the fact that everybody was so open. The men were so open. Ladies, okay, don't get quiet now because y'all been chatting and y'all been putting stuff in the chat. Are there any questions or any ladies want to put on their video and want to ask a question, anything like that? I can ask you a question if you want me to.
Give me a moment.
Yes, Adrian.
What's up, bro?
I knew she was coming.
Missy, I know Missy was was having a fit. Yeah, the ladies were going through it while y'all were talking.
I'm still marinating on some stuff.
Come on, Gemini. Come on.
We in the kitchen now. Let's cook it.
Yeah.
I just want to cherry pick some stuff real quick. So,
okay.
Let's start with you, Slim, because you had a lot to say tonight. Which is what I expected. I got super excited when I saw you popped in the room because I knew it was going to be some bullshit. And you. I'm glad that you confessed to not having all the facts when you started what you said earlier, because what you were saying was sort of accused. These aren't questions, actually. I'm sorry. Are we allowed to do comments? Because I feel like we was sitting real tight in the back right now.
Okay? The ladies are having a fit. You got it. What you want to say? This is Unique XPRESSIONS Podcast. We keep it real here.
It was just the narrative that like, you seem to think that like Black women in particular you said that we're the only ones that give up on our men like that. And that just sounded so crazy to me because in my experiences, the opposite has always been true, where I'll know Black women who are like, nah, I'm gonna have Black babies with a Black man, this, that, and this, where it be y'all who are equally willing to leave us for other people and give us up for other people. So like I said, I'm glad you confessed to not having all the facts there because it seemed like you were speaking from a limited test group. Because like I said, I'm like, who are these people? Like, okay, because I'm like, as far as Black women I know, they be ride or dying for like Black men, but you know, I'm just saying, like, of course,
That's me.
Everybody.
Yep.
So I just wanted to start on that, but what I wanted to go back to that I know Destinee said she wanted to maybe say for a part 2 was just the submissiveness as slavery part.
Oh, yeah, we need to, guys, we need to talk, everybody YouTube land, I call it YouTube world. We got to talk about this submission thing because it's
No, we don't.
minorities take it a different way. We don't take it the way
I reignite that too because
Caucasian women take it.
I have a very interesting concept about
Oh, that show is coming. Oh, trust that.
So I
Wait,
got
let's
y'all
hear
with
his comment. Let's hear it. Go ahead. Please.
Okay. Submission is technically our superpower, right? Think about it. Okay, we can even bring the Bible into this. Like, I don't know how big y'all into the Bible or anything like that, but okay, let's
Praise the Lord.
look.
Go ahead.
How did Eve get Adam to eat the apple? Like, okay, and you gotta think about all
because men are so weak. Hold on. Because men are so weak.
And I didn't want to say that, but I didn't want to say that. But y'all definitely have this thing called power of seduction. Y'all can definitely.
Because you're so weak.
And I wouldn't say weak. I definitely wouldn't say weak.
Because you lead with the wrong head, and we're always thinking of how to manipulate and control. But go ahead.
Wow.
I mean, that's us rather than the world. So the power of manipulation is being used in the wrong direction.
Exactly, because y'all have the power. Y'all have the power to build a man and to destroy him.
Because the answer to your question, Mario, was like you said, how did she get him to eat it? All she had to do was ask. All she did was ask. She just told him to do it.
But there's two different. Hold on, because there's a way of women telling men to do something. Like when y'all want us to do something, there's two ways that y'all can do it, and y'all will get two different responses with this. Y'all can be like, oh, go out here and cut these grass. Like I told you to cut the grass. Why you ain't gonna cut the? Now we're feeling our manhood being challenged. But y'all can come in and be like, babe, I love how you cut the grass. You be out there all sweaty and all that stuff. Like we gonna our hands gonna swell. Oh, rip off our shirt. We gonna have some kind of slow chick flick cutting the grass, like Morris Chestnut type.
Exactly. You're right.
That's how. I mean, look at the Trojan War. Why was it started?
Helen, by a woman. Helen of Troy.
Beauty though.
Y'all have that power, and all y'all have to do is throw on some kind of charm or some kind of seduction. Come in dressed in just like t-shirt, nothing else on. We stopping whatever we doing and being like, "What you need, babe? You need us to do. You need us to wash the dishes. You need us to do. You need us instead of." But I think nowadays it's kind of been like a lot of this, like y'all. I don't know. It changed. Like it's like now it's like y'all seem like y'all want to be more demanding now or something like.
Wait a second. Getting back to Adam and Eve and the apple.
Oh goodness! Of course he wants to go here.
We got off.
I was gonna get
so angry. Go ahead, angry Black man. Go ahead.
In that example, Eve was Adam's best, or rather worst enemy, not best friend. But because she coerced him to do something she knew was wrong.
But he didn't have to.
I mean, you're absolutely correct. But like, we could have went about that totally different.
Point, why did she take the apple to him in the first place?
In the first place, though, I mean, it's kind of like
because she didn't want to be really responsible, and she knew that he was dumb enough to do it.
What?
But
you're still our worst enemy at that point, not our best.
Yeah, that's kind of
and that's what I'm saying. The submission part. I mean, y'all. I mean, it just how did she able to do it? And she was able to, she seduced him into eating the apple. She had to say
She just
something.
asked him to. She didn't seduce him. She just asked him to.
But how did she ask him? Like, you think a man is going to sit there and be like, okay, you have an apple that you know, I mean, you have this object, and you know you're going to get in trouble with it. You know if you touch it, they said don't touch it. And you know if you touch it, you're going to get in trouble. How does she, do you think she's like, oh, Adam, here, eat this apple?
Like, we don't know the backstory.
Get that off. Like, no, I'm gonna go and finish doing what I was doing. But you know, but I think she came up to him like, hey, man, you might, yeah, probably dressed up, something. Like, Adam, you know you want to eat this apple. Come on, Adam.
What does that say? Wait. Excuse me, wait. Angry, wait, hold on. Angry one, hold on 1 second. What does that say about the man who is able to be swayed by our words?
Because that we are naturally, we naturally do that. We naturally will be drawn. I mean, even says that.
And I agree with what you said about cutting the grass. That is what we do. If you can be charming, you can get a guy to do anything you almost want him to do.
So you either build him up by not bringing him the apple in the first place because you know he's gonna automatically go for whatever he's saying or something like that because you're gonna seduce him, or you seduce him because you want to see what it's like to be like God or whatsoever. You bring him so you won't. You wanted this. You wanted this. Like we was chilling, minding our own business, watching the game, and y'all had to come here and just be like, "Look, hey, I found this new thing." Like, no, we watching. Just try this new thing with me. Come on, baby. The game gonna be here. You know, I mean, that's what y'all. I mean, y'all can get us to do. I mean, how are simps made? How are yes men made?
Boy,
You know.
Well, let me ask you, because I'm reading the chat, right? And there's a comment, and it's from T, and she's saying, and we didn't talk about this. She said some Black women will fight for their man until the end and will stick around through all the nonsense. You know, that's not how she said it, but you know, all the nonsense.
Yeah, no, I know.
What about that woman? What about that woman? Isn't she an asset to a man?
Oh, definitely. I mean,
if a woman like that will actually go ahead and go through thick and thin with her man, and she always puts up with his stuff, she should be commended because of the fact that he's going through his stuff. So she's going through his stuff with him. Yeah. That's commendable. But a woman will always have her own decision and her own mind. Even though she's going through stuff with her man, she can still go ahead and think for herself and do what she needs to do to get stuff done. She didn't have to go ahead and depend on the man. She can still go ahead and think of ways to go ahead and get stuff done.
Let me ask you, what since we're all Black here, what in the Black man's mind makes her a ride or die? What's the criteria to be a ride or die woman to a Black man?
Like, babe, we finna go out here. We finna go and rob this bank. Let's go get it. She out there plotting. Like, okay, babe, I already got the shells loaded up. Let's go.
Like, why we can't just go out on a joyride and have a nice time, man? Why we gotta rob?
Exactly. You
don't
have to go ahead and kill somebody to go ahead and, you know.
It's like a ride or die.
Come on, Adrian.
It's a woman who's gonna go the full mile with you. Like we got a flat tire. Okay, baby, I'm gonna get out. I'm pushing. Like that.
No. We can still go ahead and do the whole full mile. We don't have to go ahead and go all crazy and everything.
Yeah, we don't have to go. We ain't going to jail together.
Exactly.
A ride or die chick, as they would say, is not the best woman that you want to have around. I mean, I'm not saying because she's not the one that's going to give you morals at the same time. Like we do need our women to be sometimes to be like, nah, babe, that's a dumb idea. Stop.
No.
Go sit your ass down.
Yes.
No, see,
For me, that's a false equivalence, whether she's right or die, or having some common sense about what's right or what's wrong. That those things do not equate. But what
That's
I
the
do,
most sensible thing I've heard from you all night.
where you live, Misty? Because I
I'm
gotta
coming
fit
for
my,
him. I've been waiting. I've been waiting to come for you.
I gotta
So
fit.
I know Missy is gonna be back for part 2, which is next week. Yes, because let me tell you, I'm looking at the chat
Thank you,
again.
Adrian, for inviting me.
Yes, thank you, Adrian. Yes, someone just gave me the definition for a ride or die chick. She said a ride or die chick is sticking by your man through thick and thin. When he's down, you pick him up. If he's broke, you supply. I don't know about that part, but I feel you, T. Like
down or whatever.
No.
Yeah.
And no. Oh, please.
But if you don't provide him with support to when he needs it in the home, as well as and especially outside the home,
Then what's the point?
what's the point? What you gonna do?
can a ride or die chick be a wife? Is that like the end goal?
I mean that would be a wife is a description in another context. Ride or die is a description about her outlook, her function within the relationship. A wife, I mean, a ride or die could be a girlfriend, right? You know, a wife is a description for another context.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait.
Your wife should be a ride or die. Period.
Yes.
Wait.
I agree.
No.
I agree with you, but they are
Hold on.
because
I'm confused here. Wait.
Girlfriend first before she's a wife.
What? Wait, have you ever been married? Wait, that's the question. Have you ever been married?
Wait, I'll get
Misty, what is your sign? She is.
That's a yes or no. Have you ever been married?
Wait, Mario, what do you think her sign is?
She gave me a fire sign. She gave me a fire sign.
Leo?
She giving me a Leo vibe.
She gave me a Leo vibe too.
Not even.
No?
I'm the queen of all. Think of Michelle Obama.
Gosh.
Wait, what is Michelle Obama? Well, a Scorpio or something?
No, she's not a Scorpio.
No.
Like Capricorn.
Capricorn. Okay.
I don't know anything about Capricorns.
Capricorn. My mom was a Capricorn. She just inspired. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, Slim, did you answer the question? Have you ever been married, Slim?
I'm sorry. I had to figure that out myself.
Throw him to the wolves, right?
I'm just trying to ask him if he's ever been married because I want to know how he knows what the difference is.
But as far as the ride or die, you're gonna be.
But answer the question.
I answered it already.
I said, have you ever been married?
Yeah, I answered that already.
No, I didn't hear it. We all missed that.
Yes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You have? Okay.
Thank you.
Now then,
Okay.
the ride or die is going to
your interesting
be a
description.
girlfriend first before she gets promoted as a wife.
So she has to, all right. So it has to be. So in a man's eyes, how does it start? It's the ride or die before the wife.
I mean, I feel like ride or die is an
outlook. Well, it's an outlook. It's an approximation. To me, it's an approximation to the commitment to her man.
So she has to like prove herself before she can.
It's a description of her commitment.
Be a wife, right? That's
whether she's a girlfriend or a wife. Those are
qualities, not necessarily a status. Yeah, that's a quality of a girlfriend, or not like an
actual. But the quality of her commitment is what ride or die describes.
And what is your quality of commitment at the same time?
What are you talking about? We're not in a relationship.
Wait.
I guess you're asking like, what is his qualifications or?
No, because you're saying what a woman should be doing. What is that man's responsibility at the same time while she's doing all of this? Like, why should she have to prove herself like that?
If she wants to be married with children,
Okay, all right. We learning stuff. We have a lot to talk about because we've been here a little while. We've been talking. Ladies, I hope you learned a lot because I learned a lot. And I need all you guys back for part 2, which is.
Do we have to listen to them, or can we be involved?
No, no, that we're gonna do the same thing, but this kind of took a little while only because I learned more than I thought I was gonna learn.
He spoke more than anybody else, and it was so it's like, are you sure that you like women? You know?
No, he likes women. I can vouch for that. But but that's not it. No,
I'm just saying.
He probably like them a little too much. But no, I know he was going to do that, And this is the part where I want to thank everybody for coming out. You guys were great. And I also want to see you next week again for part 2. We're going to have what we call session 2, where we're going to talk about some of the things that we didn't talk about. I want to thank everybody just for being so open and honest and vulnerable, because it's going to help a lot of people. It's going to help a lot of people with maybe some of the issues that they're going through. And some of these questions that like the women brought up, and even some that the men brought up, really, really good questions, really good answers. It was no man code, and I really appreciate you guys. Now we do something called Plug Talk. Now tonight is just gonna be me. Next week you'll see some of the other businesses and stuff we have. But again, I'm Destinee Jae. I am a DJ. I am a karaoke host. I do the podcast, media hosting. My company does quite a lot of things. I also sell clothing, so I have a clothing brand now. We do graphic design. I can make your posters for your parties or for your events. We do quite a lot of things. And I also do networking. But I just want to show you some of the things I have. If you do like the podcast, you see it on YouTube. And this is one of the shirts. I usually have a couple of people that have more of the shirts, but I don't know if you can see it. But this is the UNIQ XPRESSIONS Podcast shirt. This is the pink one for the women. I also have a black one for the women and men as well. Guys, I can also take the lips off. If you guys don't want to walk around with pink lips. I heard it's been an issue. So I just want to let you guys know I can do a lot. This is my design, my brand. I can do it for you.
On that one because
yes, I can also put your name on the bottom of the shirt. They come without and with. So again, I can make you famous. And there's also another clothing line I have also. But I'll get somebody to model that later. We also have hats, guys. We have hats. I know you can't see it because it's kind of light, but we have UNIQ XPRESSION Podcast hats. There it is. And we also have drinkware. We have like the pants coming, the sweaters. We have a lot of things going on. If you want to get in touch with me about any of these products that we have or what I just showed you tonight, again, you can go to UNIQ XPRESSIONS Podcast. That's UNIQ, UNIQ XPRESSIONS. It starts with the X, XPRESSIONS podcast @gmail.com. You can also write me in the video. Just put attention, Destinee Jae. Under the video, after you subscribe, please subscribe. Please don't watch these videos and not subscribe. I need the subscriptions. I need to know that you guys like this content so I can keep bringing it. Okay. Or you can go to my webpage or my website, which is uniqStarEntLLC.com. You can see and read more about me. You can get in touch with me if you need me for private parties, as DJing, hosting, anything. Graphic design, I'm there. All right. And I hope everybody had a good time with this show. I learned so much, and I really love you guys. This is the part of the show. Y'all know what part this is, right? And hopefully you come back next week because we're gonna learn a lot more. All right. Stay tuned for the next video. Okay, guys. We're gonna say good night. Good night, guys. Everybody wave.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
This is me, I'm so royal, and you all wanna be round. Yeah, you all wanna be round. champion, a champion.